Namaste, Suswagatam, and welcome to our Sunday edition of Words of Wisdom Gyan Ganga on our Virat Hindustan Sangam channels. We are simultaneously on numerous platforms, and we thank our viewers for the support week after week they give us for this program. We are today at episode number 258, and today's episode is on the outcome of Modi's USA visit. So, with these words, it is over to Dr. Swamy to initiate today's discussion, and then we will have comments from our other panel members. Over to Dr. Swamy.
Jagdishji, before we begin, can we
Yes.
have that historic figures?
No, we are today also going as part of our highlights of historical figures. We will be today talking of a leader from Bihar. We will have the video shortly.
Kunwar Singh was born on November 13, 1777, in Jagdishpur, Bihar, into a royal Ujjainiya Rajput family. His parents were Raja Sahabzada Singh and Rani Panchratan Devi. A British officer described him as a tall man, approximately 6 feet, about 183 meters in height. In 1857, at the age of 80, Kunwar Singh led the Indian rebellion against the British in Bihar, showing exceptional courage and leadership. Despite his old age, he fought fiercely, using guerrilla warfare tactics to outsmart the British. He continued the rebellion for about 1 year, effectively evading capture and challenging British forces. His bravery inspired countless people to join the freedom struggle against colonial rule. In 1966, 109 years after the rebellion, the Indian government issued a commemorative stamp in his honor. Veer Kunwar Singh University was established in Ara in 1992, named to honor his legacy. The Veer Kunwar Singh Setu Bridge, spanning 435 kilometers, was inaugurated in 2017, further commemorating his contributions. In 2018, his statue was moved to Hardinga Park in Patna, which was then renamed Veer Kunwar Singh Azadi Park, to celebrate his role in India's freedom struggle.
Sangam pays its tribute to Kunwar Singh, the great son of Bihar. We'll have a slide in Hindi. Over to Dr. Swamy.
Okay. Thank you, Jagdish. I will pose 5 outcomes from this visit because there's so much gibberish that has gone on in the media. To bring it some clarity, I'm going to bring in 5 issues which arise from what happened between Modi and the US President Donald Trump. Let me say that when Modi arrived in the tarmac, there was no one to receive him from the official protocol of the Americans. And then he was kept in, he was not kept as a guest in the White House, but in some building, which many others have also stayed. But if he was such a great friend, he should have been in the White House. And third thing is that the undercurrent of what Trump did to Modi when his own confirmation to become the president was being celebrated, he was not invited. And even after his Sancho Panza Jaishankar, went hurrying there and occupying other people's chairs and all that. The Americans did not yield to invite Modi for that his inauguration. So, I mean, now to arrive as not as the first person, as some of the newspapers in Delhi are saying, but the fourth person. First person was Israel, the second was Japan, the third was Jordan. These are small countries, and they are also formal allies of the United States. And for India to go, for him to go, after all that has happened, I think Modi had made a very bad choice in going to United States to meet the President of the United States at this juncture. So having said that, let me say that India enjoys a trade surplus in dollar terms due to the higher tariff that it imposes. Now, what has Trump said? No, this can't happen. There has to be an equality. If you put a high tariff, we'll also put a high tariff. So that's it's what Trump called as a reciprocal tariffs. So that's a very major minus for India, which all the newspapers have suppressed. Then the second thing is the reciprocal traffic could be beyond even import taxes, which the US already imposes on our export-import. So therefore, it's going to be, when you put it all together, it's going to be very difficult for Indians to export to the United States. And or they'll export it in such high prices that it will be impossible to buy. And see, the US has all kinds of extras they put in. VAT, value-added tax, they put that also in. And so this is something that one has, especially for medicines and things like that, is going to be a big blow for India. The third thing is India abides by the WTO and uses the system of GST in terms of putting it. But the US has its own taxes. It doesn't go through the WTO at all. And so we will have a problem persuading the WTO, but they will have no problem and they will choose the price that they want. And then India may force you to buy, and I've already seen one example, force you to buy military hardware, which we can get from other countries, which will be as good and much cheaper. Now, do we want to do that? For instance, this jet 35 F-35A or something. It hasn't been offered by Trump. He said this is something that it can be considered. And if you look at the exact wording, so he put a kind of a carrot before Mr. Modi, and Modi made out a big thing as if something has been. So I feel that given the totality of how Modi was treated when he got off the plane and when he was seen onto the plane, and the way he was treated in the press conference itself in the White House, all these show that Modi has let India down by this visit. Over to you, Jagdish.
As Ramesh G is based in US, I want his perspective before Arvind also gives his views.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy. Thank you, Jagdish ji. Dr. Swamy, I think this is an excellent visit as far as US is concerned. I'll tell you the reasons why. Whatever we wanted to sell, you bought, and whatever you wanted to buy, we sold to you. So I think it's a fantastic bilateral deal. And it's the F-35 is something not even our armed forces in America want, because of the cost, and the number of problems that the plane has. I think it is a good thing that India buys and tests everything, and then if it all works okay, then we will start using it in our forces. I think it is a brilliant deal from our end at a very inflated cost, whatever it may be. But even because, Dr. Swamy, when you look at the F-35, Elon Musk himself said only idiots will build F-35. So if somebody is building and somebody is buying, we need somebody else to buy, no? So I think it is a good chance, that this happened. And a couple of other things that is very interesting, Dr. Swamy, is the oil and gas. US right now is the second largest, supplier of natural gas to India. I think Trump is very aggressive about using American oil, American gas, and making money out of that. India's largest import is from Qatar, which is nothing but a proxy. But so all said and done, US is trying to take the number one position, because by and large, India is the largest. So as far as advantage America is concerned, I am gung-ho about this deal going, and I want India to become the largest buyer of our gas. And the second is crude.
You are speaking as an American citizen.
Absolutely, because that way there'll be more jobs created in America, Dr. Swamy. Why do I care about India? So there'll be more jobs created in America because of all of this. So I think I'm more gung-ho about this is what is happening. And the other point, crude, also very interesting part, because in US is not supplied a single drop of crude for a long. Comparatively in the other nations, they're not even in the top 5. So I think it is a good deal. In spite of the crude not compatible to Indian refineries, we will sell you the crude. So what you do with the crude is up to you. So we produce sweet crude, and you do not use sweet crude. You use a combination of heavy and sour. That's what it's called. It's a sour crude, and they now mix a little bit of sweet crude to it. But I think it is a good thing for America to sell our crude, because even American refineries cannot process the oil produced in my country. So we have to sell it to someone. No, we have oil, so we have to sell it to someone. So that is one. The third, and a couple of other things, Dr. Swamy. In all of this, what I see is we sold you 5 things, okay, and you did not. You did not sell even one to us, because all Modi did was, before he came, he already started lowering tariffs. Okay, so I think which is a good advantage for America as far as America is concerned. So I think net from an American perspective, true American perspective, I think it is a fantastic deal. We came, buckled, went back. So I think as a unlike Alexander, Vidi, he came, he saw, got defeated. That's it. So which is actually it's a good thing for America. That put aside, Dr. Swamy, in general, my observation is whenever you see a Westerner praise you too much, you got to be on your guard. Because I've lived in this country for 25, 30 years. So I know this inside out. So I know how. So when I've lived through this, learned through this, I think all this concept of, oh, he called me the greatest or great, this, that, and all, we know what we are trying to do. Okay. In spite of all this greatness, Dr. Swamy, if I have to say, if my president declares right in his face more tariffs, what do you call that? When Modi is sitting with him, he's going, we are imposing more tariffs on you, saying that we will import. So the biggest net advantage, Dr. Swamy, if you look at everything put together, India now cannot sell its steel. Aluminum, India is the largest supplier of, one of the largest suppliers of aluminum to America. Tariffs is on aluminum too. Steel is, I think India is about 3rd or 4th. So that's going to be a challenge. So if you look at that from an India perspective, I'm really sorry to say that you got a very raw deal, in fact, a zero deal in this visit. I felt that it was too early a visit to begin with, because there is so much of quote unquote chaos going on in my country that, we're changing so many things. We're cutting down costs. We're just going left, right, and center at different initiatives. Frankly, this visit has come in midst of a storm that we are going through, a political storm, whatever you want to call it. It is an ill-timed visit in my view. In 3 months later, things would have cooled down, or we would have judged where all these things that Trump is doing, whether it's got the legal sanction, whether it's got the Supreme Court sanction, constitutional sanction, based on that, it allowed him to settle down. But coming now, where he's on a very big high of winning an election like this with the absolute mandate, he's got the complete upper hand even in politics in America. India trying to do a trade deal in this was a very bad move. If Israel did not do a trade deal. Israel said, okay, we want to fight Hamas. You help me there. That's it. They didn't want to talk about trade. India did not have anything to offer. The only thing they can offer is, okay, please give me money, give me money. That's what he did. So, but what did Trump do? He says, no, you first buy from me. Then we will decide about buying from you. That's exactly the message that we sent them back.
Now, may I add one thing?
Uh.
Jagdish, before I pass it on to Arvind. Do you know that amongst the things that we as Indians should not do, especially in the land of Mahatma Gandhi, Modi has decided to lower the tariffs on liquor, on whiskey. And yes, and that is a demand made by the U.S. president, and he immediately agreed, and he has agreed to reduce very sharply the taxes we have put on liquor coming from United States. This I find is complete surrender to Mr. Modi by Modi to the United States president.
Because in a lot of things, Dr. Swamy, Modi came in buckled already. So he's already buckled. So you've not even come to the negotiating table. He says, okay, I've already give you concessions. So that's not a very good position to start with. Even the number, like the lowest common denominator, even a small Gujarati business wala will know that this is not a good deal. I'm very surprised this very intelligent 56-inch super intelligent Gujarati made this mistake of buckling before he even came. So that's a very interesting thing to notice. Saying that, why did you buck? No deal, Dr. Swamy. Even Canada, Colombia, everybody, Mexico says you put tariff, I put tariff. India is the only country that says you put tariff, I'll lower my tariff. Very, very surprising. China said, no, you put 10%, I've already put 10%. Russia, things like this. Every country is saying, you put 10%, I'll also put 10%. India came in with a weak link saying that, oh, you're thinking of putting some tariff. Okay, I already lowered my tariff. Jagdishji, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, Rameshji, I want to ask you one thing, because you are based in America and you see the news coverage as far as the electronic media of US and the print media of US. Was what the Godi media in India calls a historic and unprecedented visit of the Modi to US. How has the media covered, the US media covered this event in your newspapers and electronic media?
Okay, two things, Jagdishji. Two newspapers covered it. Okay, I've been searching this in and out. Major newspaper. I don't know about the small ones. I don't care about them. But if you look at both of them, they are talking about what deal did Modi do with Elon Musk. Why did Modi meet a nation, a prime minister, a head of a nation, meet with Elon Musk before the president? And what went there? Because both New York Times and Washington Post, both lefties, I don't deny that. But at the end of the day, they are papers of repute. At least to a large extent, a lot of Indians salivate over anything that New York Times puts out, whether it's garbage or good. But they have said very clearly as to they see this meeting of Elon Musk and Modi with a suspicious eye, saying that what is the deal? Because A, Teslas are not in India yet, and B, I think the biggest challenge is everybody's talking about is the sale of spectrum, the satellite spectrum. These are the two things that are topic. Other than that, what Modi and Trump did and all is not covered, basically. Not much. One or two, maybe a snippet here or there, but it's not covered major, not like the way the Godi media is making it up. Because at the end of the day, we know what's a fair deal. This is not a win. Why we are laughing away and saying, oh, we make a fantastic. Why we found a bakra? Why won't we even celebrate a bakra? We've already had halal kiya, khana bhi kha liya. Bas, ho gaya. Vatapi jirno bhava.
Modi had a meeting with the children of...
yes, sir.
Go on. I was saying that Modi also had a one-to-one meeting with Elon Musk. Yeah, somebody put it out there. Elon Musk and his children and nannies. Bilateral.
No,
After not
Rameshji,
being.
but as I've been told by a lot of people on social media that there was front page news of Modi in Wall Street Journal and uh, perhaps Washington Post or New York Times. What was that then?
Just a front page, definitely a front page advertisement, not a post. It was an advertisement openly. It was an advertisement sponsored by HCL, sponsored by Mahindra. It was said that on the
It's
bottom.
a paid advertisement by government of whom?
It was not a paid. See, that's what the advertisement was sponsored by multiple companies from India. So
that way.
go
Okay,
figure
because
that.
I thought it was front page news in the newspaper.
No. As I said, we will take whatever.
Okay, Arvind, what are your comments before we
I will put 7 pages of India advertisement if need be, if you pay me money. What's there?
Okay. To begin with, I will underline 2 points. One made by Dr. Swamy, another one point made by Ramesh. Dr. Swamy started with saying that it was some sort of an insult to Modi, the way he was treated, not only at the airport and wherever he stayed and all that. This whole sequence. In fact, this sequence started on the day of inauguration on 20th of January, when India was not invited in the name of Prime Minister. India was represented by Subramanian Swamy, the foreign minister, that too seated in third row, and Godi media projected it as if he was in the first row and all that. But anyway, second point which Ramesh made is also very, very significant, and that is the timing of Narendra Modi's visit. I think Narendra Modi was so embarrassed by not being invited on 20th of January. He wanted somehow to be the first person, if not first, second person, if not second, the third person to meet the President of United States. And as Dr. Swamy said, after Israel, after Japan, after Jordan, came India's name. And it was not an invitation from the US President. It was a visit which was proposed by India, and therefore they accepted. So the insult part continues. In fact, I have been maintaining this, that when the first lot of 104 immigrants was sent in a military plane, shackled and chained, that was also part of the same process. The President of United States wanted to show India where it stands, the right place. And this was maybe shocking to Narendra Modi, but Narendra Modi should now get used to it, because that sequence continues even now. And the way he was treated, he should realize. Now, coming to Jagdish's point about the front page advertisement, Indian media do whatever is the reality. They ignore the reality and they say Modi is great. And some senator must have said that the entire world should learn diplomacy from Narendra Modi. And that statement was highlighted in Indian media. And not only that, I was reading some Hindi newspapers. They also said, Modi के अमेरिका विजिट से अमेरिका हिल गया और पूरा अमेरिका इतना हिल गया कि प्रेसिडेंट डोनाल्ड ट्रंप को नरेंद्र मोदी के आगे हाथ जोड़ने पड़े. Now, this is the kind of coverage, irrespective of what happens. Ramesh has described the real position in American media, but Indian media will continue to do that. So these are the 2 points first I wanted to underline. Now, third is starting with the immigrants. As I said, this was some sort of insult thrown upon India. Colombia had stood against this practice, and they did not they did send their own plane and to save their citizens from this inhuman treatment. But abhi kal fir wahi hua hai. Even after Narendra Modi's visit, the illegal immigrants have been sent again to Amritsar in a similar fashion. And I'm also told that there are some Sikh immigrants, illegal immigrants, who were not even allowed to wear turban. This is again a humiliation and ill treatment and insult and inhuman treatment given to India, despite Narendra Modi's claimed friendship with the United States president. And I think it is continuing. Ramesh mentioned about oil thing. You see, Indian oil companies are making huge money. Why? Narendra Modi has been lucky for last 10 years or so that the global prices of oil have fallen, and fallen so much that it is very profitable for Indian companies, the refineries and the marketing companies, to make profit. Indian government is not reducing the price of the
Exactly.
retail oil. So these companies are making profits and giving dividend to the government of India. So government of India indirectly is using that profit to pump it into the expenditure. And Narendra Modi was lucky enough to get a deal with Russia to get even a cheaper oil. Now United States wants to sell their own oil. They say your friendship with Russia may be whatever, but oil you must buy from us. So this
Because
condition,
India doesn't buy from us at all. We want you to buy.
correct. That's what I'm saying. So he's insisting that we should buy from US, despite of the fact that US will be very expensive as compared to Russia and Qatar and other countries where India is importing crude oil from, and the profitability of Indian marketing companies will also go down. This will be an excuse for Indian marketing companies to increase the retail price also. So this will be a loss to India if America twists the arm and forces India to buy oil from this. Second is Elon Musk. Elon Musk has been appointed by President Donald Trump as the head of the Department of Government Efficiency, some DOGE.
Doge.
First decision that DOGE has made after Narendra Modi meeting Elon Musk with the grandchildren and children and nannies and whatever, with full force of Indian diplomats on one side and the family on the other side. This picture was, worth millions to see, for Indians to see where Narendra Modi stands vis-a-vis United States. But anyway, so the first decision of DOGE is to cut down $1.84 million, which was the expenditure given by US to increase the voting percentage in India to have better democratic practices. That expenditure has been cut down because Elon Musk has been assigned this task of cutting down wasteful expenditure. So any donation given to India, any help given to India in a manner which is not helpful to US, which is not benefiting the US, that is going to be cut down. So this is the first result of the Narendra Modi's meeting with Elon Musk. More to come. And this humiliation, I think we should now get used to. Indian government should get used to, unless Indian government has something to return to US by doing the return arm twisting. And I don't think India is in a position. That's what I'm saying. I don't think India is in a position to do that.
Because there is something that you have that we are so desperate for.
Yeah.
Even if you assume IT talent, let's take for this example, even if it's IT talent, Trump will say, if you don't give, I'll go to China, I'll go to here, I'll go to the Eastern European countries. You get what I'm
Ramesh,
saying?
H1B visas and the way the nationality is being now changed in terms of the new rules are being formed and all that, Indians will be the biggest loser.
Arvindji, the biggest thing India can offer America is your market.
Yes.
Your consumer market is by and large the only factor that you have, that India has as an advantage over America, because of the population and the ability, spending capacity and all those things. But unfortunately, you are not able to use that as a leverage.
Yes.
Number one. Second, India is strategically placed in a geopolitical world because of China, whatnot. India is very beautifully placed. They don't know how to use that to their advantage. Dr. Swamy has highlighted this many times. Dr. Swamy even utilized this when India was the lowest point, when they allowed American planes to land, got tons of, they got how many $1 billion, Dr. Swamy, for averting the crisis. So you need to know.
Yeah, we got 250 million.
IMF loan.
IMF loan.
Yeah, and from
You don't know your
IMF
own
loan, yeah.
strength.
In
You don't know your
1991.
own. You don't know
But
your
the
own.
Americans facilitated getting from
You don't know your own strength, so you
but
cannot negotiate with that strength, right? So India's got a biggest. Dr. Swamy, this is one highlight. I'm telling you what happened about a week ago or 10 days ago. Trump is now on a war path with Iran, Dr. Swamy. In a sense, not a literal war path, but political, whatnot, sanctions and whatnot. He also he said to his people saying that if Iranians attack me, I want you to obliterate Iran. That's his word, he said. I have given written instructions to my people. If the Iranians try to assassinate me or attack me, obliterate. Even if I'm not there, just obliterate them. They should be wiped from the face of the earth. It's very, very crucial for India because of the Chabahar port, Dr. Swamy. So this, because India's by and large largest trading port to the west, I mean, I'm talking about European countries, Afghanistan and beyond, is through the Chabahar port. That is going to be at a huge risk. This is my very limited knowledge. What I'm trying to tell you is going to be one of the biggest impact that what we're going to see down the line.
Why have we publicized getting whiskey from America?
Your priorities are there, no, Dr. Swamy. That's what India thinks are priorities.
The Prime Minister of India and the President of the United States are exchanging notes to say India has decided now to import whiskey. Is this is what Mahatma Gandhi would have approved? I mean, what have we come to? This man is prostituting India. I would put it this way.
And again, the other point, Dr. Swamy, if you look at the advantage, let's say even if this F-35 is actually, let us assume if it is a good deal, what Trump has said, we'll give you the flight, but no way we are going to allow you to manufacture them there. We'll send you a fully assembled flight, no manufacturing facility, nothing doing. Now, so what is the big advantage? Because unless you get a deal, even in Rafael, I think they got a better deal of manufacturing those aircraft in Gujarat somewhere. That was a better deal. Even the Russians are offering the Sukhoi 57, the latest range of Sukhoi 57, saying that, okay, we will also allow you to assemble them in India. In our case, we do not allow. And as you said in your opening remarks, India can go to the world market. There are so many suppliers of better, in a sense, equivalent of good weapons. But unfortunately, your arms are twisted already. You have to buy from us. There is no go. Whatever we sell you, you have to buy. Whether we are selling the latest, greatest, we don't know.
I'll add one more thing. He was insulted by publicly announcing that he will not be invited for the ceremony for Donald Trump. And then Mr. Jaishankar is not invited by them. He's got a ticket from the Indian embassy, which gets 2 tickets to be present there. See, when the Democrats were in power in the 1990s, Bill Clinton was there. I was invited to this function, so I know exactly what the protocol is. And this education, this this minister of ours, foreign affairs minister, he goes there to represent himself as the member of the on behalf of the Indian embassy, which is automatically gets 2 seats because they are an embassy. All embassies got 2 seats. So I just don't understand what is it that the Americans have on him that he should shiver like this in front of the Americans.
Yeah, and one bizarre thing that happened during the press conference, Dr. Swamy. So one reporter raised a question about Adani. His rambling, he went on a rambling mode, saying some nonsense, Vasudeva Kutumbakam and all those things. And at the end, saying that, talking like a very cheap politician, when 2 leaders meet, aisa baat karte hain kya? I mean, as though that, he's telling a Godi media reporter, that's how he is speaking to the West. Because what he doesn't understand, Dr. Swamy, is the easiest way of saying that answer would have been no, very clearly. And in another interaction, there's another reporter who asks Modi a question about Bangladesh. Modi is just blinking. He's not even answering. Trump says, That is your question. But anyway, I will answer it for you.
Right.
See, Dr. Swamy, when you have a leader of the nation come, and let's say in the West, even if American media has to cover it, which was shown live, when this interaction was shown live, people are going to say, who is this leader, right? I mean, he's not even able to answer a few questions that the media is asking, because Modi has never interacted with the media.
Yes.
Right? So when you
मोदी को
come to
अंदाजा
the
नहीं
West,
था कि ये सवाल आएगा.
yeah. So no, when you come to the West, you have to be prepared for the worst questions. Trump, you throw anything at him, he will throw that with a 10 times speed back to you. You throw something at him, he will throw back at you. Modi did not even answer. He thought he was Trump and gave him an answer, but he is not. And I am amazed that he had a meeting, not only him, in his entire entourage of the external affairs minister, James Bond of India, everybody else sitting, Elon Musk and his kids and maid on the other side. What kind of a meeting is this? Is this what you want to project India to be? Look at the same. I'm not a great fan of Congress, Dr. Swamy. I know a lot of the Andhbucks and Gunbucks. Just as I say this, they'll say that we are on Rahul Gandhi's payroll. I don't know what to say, but anyway, look at the way Manmohan Singh was received, how he conducted himself when he went and visited Obama. Obama literally, guarded him like his own father. Not that I like, because on individual basis, Manmohan Singh might be a very good individual, wrong party. But at the end of the day, the dignity was so highly maintained when Manmohan Singh was there, unlike this guy, because he's desperate for some photo shoot, some opportunity to showcase that he is a global leader. Okay, unfortunately, he is not, Dr. Swamy. It is not a language issue. It is a question of articulation and show what you are. Unnecessarily saying things, meeting stupid people. The India's pride or strength, as always, Dr. Swamy, you've said, is our people, our demography, number one. And two, India's other biggest asset is this huge population demography, which is a market that every country in the world is desperate to sell into. Use that to your leverage, which was completely missed out in this meeting. This is my analysis. Because as far as I'm concerned, you're buying a lot more from me. I don't care. And at the end of the day, dollar are only going to get strength against the rupee, because you want to keep continuing buying from me and not selling anything to me. How will your rupee strengthen? You please tell me. Basic economics. You keep buying from me. Whose currency is going to get better?
See, I was surprised to see in the media there was no mention of the discussion on the Indian skilled and educated force working in US.
Correct.
With the sword hanging over them in terms of the visa denial and permit denial for working and all that, India has $125 billion as the remittances coming every year. And I think about 20% comes from the US. And this is going to be affected if our Indian citizens' working rights there will be challenged or questioned. Modi has not even talked about it. At least there's no mention in Indian media. If US media has mentioned this topic, I do not know. But this was such an important thing which Prime Minister Modi should have mentioned.
Yeah. The other point, Dr. Swamy, just as this viewer said about the BRICS, in the press conference, Trump said, anybody trying to play in BRICS and trying to bring a currency or anything like this, trying to upend the dollar, will face 100% tariffs. Right in front of Modi. He did not hold back. Right in front of Modi, he said, any of these BRIC countries nonsense, I am telling you, BRICS will die very soon. BRICS will go to pieces very soon.
Yeah.
Or it will be put in the back burner like many other initiatives that India is in power.
I am also asking if Indians, whether they went illegally to United States or not, that's not the issue. You can't put them in chains, especially their children also are put in chains.
Correct.
And sent by a cargo flight. And they landed in and offloaded them in Amritsar. Why shouldn't they be forced to come to Delhi, where there is a system by which we know how to receive our own people who have been ejected from another country? So what I am seeing is that this man is either being blackmailed by the Americans, which is bad for India. We can't have a prime minister who can be blackmailed. or the Prime Minister should make a statement apologizing to the Indian people that I did all this. I'm sorry, it won't happen again, or something. But you can't just let him say go there and sit there and this fellow doing the Trump doing the bandman's songs and so on, and this man is shaking his head. Oh, how can you have all this?
No, but Dr. Swamy, I completely blame the opposition on this. Your opposition, useless opposition, did not even ask Modi in abject failure in every aspect, be it economy, be it local, whatever is going on, be it in Mahakumbh, what happened in Delhi, nothing. This useless opposition, so-called opposition you have in India, is nothing but a bunch of hate mongers, caste mongers, and that's exactly, they only talk about caste or some language hate or some nonsense like that. One or the other parties is just only that there is no intelligent person in the opposition side who's taking up issues like this, saying they are not intelligent enough to talk, saying that what Modi did was crap. They're not able to say that. Even if they are weak, so what? They have no sense of morality to say, okay, this is what you have to table this in the parliament. Why the hell does this happen? One time it happened, they just they use this for political advantage, running around. They thought because of this they'll win deadly elections. They can't be a bigger moron than that. Now the second time happened, they're just silent. They don't know what else their jumla they're going to do, because it's one after another, some jumla or the other, trying to say, okay, I am more intelligent than you, and basically two fools trying to say they are better, more intelligent. It is shameful that the Indian opposition
Dr.
is the
Swamy
main...
and Rameshji, I have...
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Questions from people. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I have a very specific question on behalf of the viewers. Overall impact on the economy, what is the effect? I'll ask separately to Dr. Swamy and Rameshji. By this visit, we have had some places here, there, but what is the overall impact on our Indian economy by this visit? Dr. Swamy, you can take it first.
Yes.
There's nothing in on a piece of paper which says that United States is going to do this and do that, which we want done. We want certainly their tariffs to be lower than it is. After all, the United States, if it wants to help us, I'm not saying that lowering tariffs won't hurt the United States a bit, but then the United States wants India as a friend, and Modi has gone there despite all the insults he got earlier from the Americans. He should have insisted on that. That we have got so many things that we build which you get and of top quality. You should put these heavy barriers for the export and import. That's what he should have done. He didn't. As far as if the moot question is, no, nothing of economy has come out of it. And I'd like to see even this out of date aeroplane F-35, which was not offered to us. It was just mentioned as one of the things that might be sold by the Americans. And our media picked it up as if this was already been offered, and Modi is coming with it back to India. The fact of the matter is that let Modi's people tell us what is it they got. Put it in black and white, and then we can have another debate. But they won't be able to, because there's nothing on paper. I have got many of my former students in America. They all I all ask them was, please tell me exactly what has been achieved, and they say frankly nothing in concrete terms. Even offering of whiskey, which I mentioned. What about whiskey? He said, well, that is a commitment India has made, but there's no commitment from America that they would give them at the appropriate price. So send a high-priced whiskey to Indians, saying that it is superior because it's American and it's high-priced. I mean, it's just another way of ripping off India.
Dr. Swamy, from an economy standpoint, right? If we keep on selling our goods to you, you don't buy anything from me. And if right now you're in surplus, as Arvindji said, we are in a trade surplus, right, Arvindji? That
Yes.
India has got a surplus with America, correct? If we
Yes,
flip
yes.
it, even with this situation, the rupee is at 87. If we flip the coin and we become, and you are in deficit, we are talking about 100 plus Indian rupee, isn't it so?
Yes, yes. 120 plus.
So why is it? And one thing, Dr. Sam, just go back, and you have mentioned this many times. This insult of Modi, when Modi insulted Trump during the election, is going to have, as you said, you predicted, as soon as it happened, it's going to have an impact, and you can see the impact of it in many ways possible, Dr. In Tamil there is a saying: you insert a needle in a plantain. I don't know. You speak like as though you're, you won't even feel that it is going in, but the prick is there. So and Trump has done the job extremely well this time, because in spite of all of that, sitting in the same thing, he bashed him for BRICS. He bashed him for tariffs. He bashed him with tariffs. He said, and bashed him with. I mean, you could easily see that more Trump just completely bulldozed this guy. He didn't have an idea or a clue, because he might have had these ideas in his head, Dr. Swamy, but he's pathetic in articulating it. See, that is the challenge. They might have coached him, trained him. The waiter would have coached him, trained him. The James Bond would have trained him, but nothing. His brain doesn't work, in the sense that he's not able to reciprocate, saying that if he says something, immediately he's got a good response right then and there. Even a quip, even a small joke like anything, nothing. He doesn't have that sense of Xi Jinping. Dr. Swamy, let's take this. Okay, Xi Jinping openly said, if US import says 10% tariff, he immediately said next day 10% tariff on everything in America. I don't care what happened. Now what happened? Trump is not saying anything about China now. He's just saying we will put China. But Xi is not taking a plane and running to see Trump. He will wait for his time. Why don't you at least learn from your neighbor? Nobody's running to see. Again, ill-timed visit, as I told Arvindji, this is absolutely a most ill-timed visit. I don't know which idiot suggested that Modi should come and see Trump now. He should be sacked. First of
No,
all.
after he was insulted, he was not allowed to come. And then he's brought in after Israel, which is Israel can't exist without America. To Japan, which is since World War II is a chabja of America, and then Jordan, which is totally with the Americans.
Because
then we come in. Oh, he's invited us.
What did he tell Jordan? You better take refugees from Gaza. Simple as that. He gave him an instruction. So Modi was instructed, you do this. Why do you want to take the instruction?
But Ramesh, on paper, there is a promise. There is a promise that India-US trade will be doubled in the next 5 years. That is on paper. At least we don't know whether
in which way?
How it is going to be
in which
implemented.
way?
Double. What will be doubled? American exports to India.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. What will be doubled is the question there. What will be doubled is the question there. More you do with this, where you have India as a surplus trade with America, the dollar is at 87. As Dr. Swamy said, 120. I am happy as an American, as an Indian American. I'm happy because I get more bang for my buck.
You're an Indian American, but I stayed 7 years in America.
That's it, Dr. Swamy. You went away too early. Who's to blame? And of all, Modi trying to prove that he is intelligent to the globe is irrelevant. Like AI, what nonsense he's speaking, Dr. Swamy. I mean, seriously, as a leader, why are you bothered by all of this? Okay, Trump was very clear. I don't know anything about the subject. I got this Elon guy. Elon, he knows everything. He will handle everything. I am focused on making America great again. Get the deal. What is he good at? He's a businessman. Whether he's a good businessman, bigger question mark. But I don't care. But he's not. I'm negotiating, and I will win. That's what he says. I'm telling you, in a week's time, you will see. You'll come and say, okay, I did a great deal with India. They're buying everything from us. We're not buying anything from them. The most pathetic part, Dr. Swamy, Arvind mentioned, the H-1B situation is only making it even harder for people. because I don't know. But sadly, they're all my fellow, from at least from India. But I think it is going to be a very tough future ahead for all the H-1B visa people in America going forward.
Dr. Swamy, I have a
Yeah.
question based on some of these inputs.
Ah,
One, these tariffs and all that, after a lot of years of hard work, the WTO has prepared,
yes.
I would say, agreements on all these issues
Hmm.
when
Yes.
GATT ultimately became the WTO. Why all of a sudden these bilateral issues, these things are coming up? Could you just tell us in a broader picture why now Trump is talking in this language when there is already a WTO understanding between countries? So in this context, can you tell our viewers about these tariffs?
Jagdish, you know that when I was Commerce Minister, you were part of the advisors in that thing. So was Arvind.
You
You were both
you went
in the
for the
Commerce
Uruguay.
Ministry with
You went
me.
for the Uruguay round at Brussels.
Yes,
You
and
went
I
for the
went for
Uruguay
that.
round at Brussels.
I was the one who presented that paper in the conference, and a large part of it was accepted, and therefore we had this World Trade Organization, which came into being, and so many rules have been put in, which makes it very easy now to do trade. So all that is there. So why did you do? If you can have a bilateral discussion that let us have more foreign trade, and we will put our demand and supply to the WTO and let the Americans do it. But the Americans are very arrogant. They say no, it has to be bilateral, and you suck up. Do you think the other countries are succumbing? No, because you get a much better price if you go through the WTO. Now, what's the use? My having been a pioneer in this WTO formation, it should. The country doesn't seem to go by that. It's all personal, and the way Modi is acting, the other side will immediately know he doesn't know ABC of economics, so we can make a fool of him.
So, Dr. Swamy, this one question that's been asked even in America is the tariffs, US tariffs, advantages for US. On the paper, yes, but again, Trump is using this as a negotiating tactic. Very simple. Okay, he said when Modi said, I'm going to impose tariffs, but I'm putting it off till April 1st. He is purely saying, what will you bring to me so that I don't impose these tariffs?
Yeah.
Tariff on Canada and Mexico, he said, okay, I'm putting it on hold. Unless you negotiate. They immediately negotiated. See, the thing is, this is definitely, he is not dumb enough to say that tariffs are going to hurt the inflation and all those things. Yes, it is, because obviously the cost is going to be passed on to the consumers, but it is a negotiating tactic. The world knows this. I mean, there is not rocket science. I think this, Mr. Iyer, I'm just telling you, it is definitely, will it cause inflation? On paper, yes, but there is no, it's basically a negotiating tactic. Okay, and this has been happening from even in his first term, where he started little, but now he is using this full term. He's saying, even if I impose tariffs on something, so no problem. He will make sure that some tariff is imposed for things that are not basic necessities. I'm telling you, this will end up happening. And the biggest challenge India has, India doesn't have anything to offer. That is the biggest problem. India has nothing to offer, tangible. It doesn't have, like China. No, it doesn't have anything tangible to offer. Like Canada, because most of the oil comes from Canada, timber comes from Canada, food items come from China, meat comes from Canada, because a lot of the things that we import from Canada. That's one. Mexico, same thing. Majority of the food that we import, fruits, vegetables, this and that, comes from Mexico, South America. What does India have to offer so big that America cannot, they're dependent on nothing. It doesn't have any resource that can offer. So what are they trying to sell? Steel and aluminum. What is happening? You put very high tariff on 25% tariff on it. Immediately, Indian economy will buckle because
Right.
you have no option. You have to buckle.
Yes.
But China said, if you impose tariff, we will reimpose tariff, because China is confident that they have other bakras who will buy from them. India cannot go and say, okay, I will sell this to some other country and make money. No, India doesn't have that relationship. They don't have that advantage that China has. In the past 20 years, India has wasted time doing caste politics, whatever not nonsense, instead of building the country, looting the country was what happened. Instead of bringing a leader who can fight this in 2014, EDA selected one guy who was just a showman. What else do you do? This is what we suffer from, because India has gained from America and has not given back. And I am telling you, we have discussed this in many economic sessions of even Gyan Ganga. You can't keep on taking. You have to give something back. But you keep on taking, give like a beggar, then we will treat you like that. As simple as that. India has nothing to offer. Unfortunately, today, the only IT talent they so far claim, that is also diminishing, because America has found 5 other countries that can offer equivalent or better talent. So that is also disadvantage. It's gone. The one thing that India has that nowhere else in the world is the local consumerism, because China is inaccessible, very clear. Because why would American build products sell in China? Because America makes them in China only, no? So India has an advantage to use that skill set, the skilled labor, not by exporting that labor to America, not by sending them illegal to America. Show your initiative by saying that what can we do with this skill set? Work with America to do this. America will definitely help. I'm telling you this writing because they know China is a challenge. So India is not showing any intent to prove. Use that demographic dividend, the skilled labor, the young labor. How do we use that? You have no solution for that. Every day, some Rozgar Yojana, this, give free money to people. Sorry, go ahead.
Dr. Swamy, I have a follow-up question. Under the WTO, and which you have been propagating and you have been at least talking about it, many other people don't even understand what it means. When their capital comes in at a very, access their capital, or they are interested in deploying their capital in India, why can't our labor then move into their country? Why are we not putting those barriers as far as their funds coming here? Because their funds are coming here because they get good returns on that. So can't India also dictate terms as far as our chief leader is concerned? Can't we bargain with them? Which you had done with Carla Hills.
I did. It's called reciprocity, you see. We have labor, and that labor is very valuable for many countries. The whole of Africa has benefited by it. In the early stages, Britain, after India got its independence, has benefited by it. United States, all this electronics thing has been done with the help of the Indians only. And they are in all key places, in top places. The question basically is that the Americans have been very watchful that Indians don't reach a stage where they become into decision-making positions. You can help something, you can work out some formula by which some problem is solved, but to bring them into key positions, you see one of the candidates who was supposed to be a candidate for president in the beginning, then an associate of Trump, and then suddenly he's disappeared and he has gone back home. What's his name? Ramaswamy, is it?
Vivek
Ramaswamy. Governor of Ohio, Dr. Swamy.
Sorry, he was pushed out. I've heard from my friends in America that he literally left him with nothing, especially with that guy who comes to India also with what's his name, who created an automobile in the beginning and now he's a big millionaire.
Dr. Swamy,
Elon Musk or whatever. He has pushed him out. They were jointly supposed to decide this, but he knew that an Indian would be smarter than him, so he pushed him out and he's off. So let's understand this. We Indians going to America has to be a national policy. You see, a national strategy. The government should play a role in that and see and look after them, back them. So many Indians have come with chains in their foot. You see, the children of those people also had chains in their feet. And now, after we protested, another flight has just come yesterday. While Mr. Modi and Trump were giving a press conference, a plane was coming where illegally entered Indian was being sent back in this rotten way. Is this the way to do it? They're treating them like animals. So I think the problem is they have assessed that Mr. Modi may be tough with the Indians inside India, but when it comes to Americans, he will buckle because he has many things to hide. Many of his friends are going to be can go to jail any day, like that great industrialist. So,
Adani,
yes.
Adani, Mr. Gautam
Adani,
Adani.
yes. Yeah, I mean, didn't want to take his name, but the fact is, he's now still around with Mr. Modi. So I think, and then you have to see, we haven't yet got a total picture of what's happening in the Middle East, how we are being sold, how Indians is being sold out there. So all in all, this thing should be an eye opener for Indians. That Modi is no more workable as Prime Minister of India.
Correct.
That's what I would say.
Dr. Swamy, one point that Jagdish brought out is this WTO. It's an excellent point because Trump is totally against WTO.
Yeah, that's right.
These tariffs completely upend the entire WTO theory. There is no world trade. I'm not going to abide by all your nonsensical rules. He just said that's it. He in 2021, when he was the first term, he was completely against WTO. He went, "Why? Who are you guys? You're jokers. I'm not this." He was just on a rampage against it. Now it's even bigger mandate, and given where we are today, China has now complained to WTO, but nothing's going to happen. He doesn't care for this WTO nonsense anymore, Dr. Swamy. You are negotiating with me. 1:1. I don't want some third party sitting in the middle and negotiating for me. That is his attitude. He's pulled out of most of the UN organizations.
I don't think we should use the WTO only for Americans. It's the whole process for the whole world.
No, I agree with you, Dr. Swamy, but I'm just saying Trump's attitude towards WTO.
Yeah, Trump is that way, and he's all bluff and bluster. By the way, in my opinion, if you stand tough against him, he'll work.
Yeah, because you don't show strength at all. Why would he show?
Yes, that's right. We don't. We want to be in his good books.
Yeah. You don't want to show strength. Show what did a tiny country like Colombia showed backbone and sent the plane back when the people came in shackles.
Yes.
Why can't you do it?
Yes.
When China is saying all this lal ank and all is only when you're not in power. After you come in there, where is the lal ank gone?
Yes.
You're not able to show it to China. You're not able to show it to Bangladesh. You're not able to show it to Maldives. Where are you going to show it to America of all people? What, Dr. Swamy? It's not even thinkable.
In a press conference, if you try to use a teleprompter,
yeah, crazy. I mean, it shows obviously that I don't know what to say, Dr. Swamy. He projects himself to be an intelligent person, but he's not. He might be politically smart, or he might have come in a position to where he is today. It doesn't mean that he's intelligent.
He didn't come by his smartness. It was stupidity.
Huge mistake. The biggest blunder I would call.
The RSS was dead against him. I spent so much time with the RSS trying to bring them around, and I was the first one to be booted.
Dr. Swamy,
in short, Dr. Swamy, just being an actor and winning elections is not the quality that is required to deal with international leaders and international organizations. Would this be a correct assessment?
Yeah, well, you see, the question is, we in our country, we are all afraid to take on the people in the government, and because all of them feel that they will lose their jobs and then they will be out on the streets. So that kind of fear is there. And it has happened to people. It happened to me. I mean, I was a professor at IIT. I was a professor at Harvard. I came to be a professor at IIT out of patriotism, and Mrs. Gandhi got me sacked. So, with no reason, there was no reason given at all. I just got a letter of dismissal at 5:15 in the afternoon from the director saying that this has been decided by the board. Of course, I was reinstated by the court, but it took 20 years. By then, I had become an MP, minister, and all that. There was no question of going back. Of course, I did go back and get my entire salary at 8% interest. So I got a lot of money. But the fact is, this is what happens to you. And then you get blocked. And so everybody is afraid to come out in the open. They may talk privately to you and hope that you will do something.
I think, thank you, Dr. Swamy. I think we have already taken about 67 minutes. But a last question before Arvind takes over. And this question is to Dr. Swamy. If, Dr. Swamy, you are in place of Modi and you were to go as a Prime Minister of India to meet the American president, what would you have done differently in the present context?
I would not. If I become Prime Minister, I will not go even for one day to the United States, because anything that is to be negotiated with the United States, you can do it by telephone, you can do it by internet, so many other things. Going to this thing, it's only when a matter of defense arises, we are about to go to war, that you don't want to go through these machines, because then they get tracked. Otherwise, I don't think that any Prime Minister should go. If after 5 years you want to go for one day, like Moraji Desai, he went only once, and so did our Congress minister who brought about all these economic reforms and so on. He went only for the U.S. Congress to give a speech in the U.S. Congress. Not like this. At one call, you go running there. This is, I think, the third or fourth visit of Mr. Modi.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Swamy. Arvind, please take over.
Thanks, Jagdish. Thank you, Dr. Swamy, for such an important topic. Soon after the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to the US, I think this review was needed. And Godi media, as we know, will never present the true picture. With Ramesh being present here, thanks Ramesh for your views. Ramesh being present here, he also gave the side of the media presentation in the US, and which was the real picture, as we would never come to know the real picture unless we discuss that. Thanks both Dr. Swamy and Ramesh Swamy for this nice discussion. Thanks Jagdish for anchoring this program. Before I wind up, let me also answer Ramesh's question, a small comment about the reaction of the Indian opposition. Indian opposition will never react. Am I there?
Yeah, go ahead.
They're so weak. I was about to use the word bloody weak, but anyway, they're so weak that they are being blackmailed. They are being blackmailed and they are being threatened by ED, CBI, EC, this, that. So they are scared of taking up the issue. Moreover, the BJP followers are now defending Indian government by saying these illegal migrants need to be chained and shackled because they were illegal migrants. So look at the two sides. One defending the action of the US government, which is the majority party in the parliament. Coming back to this, thank you for this nice discussion. We had discussed this earlier also, a similar topic, but there are more to come. I think the fallout of this visit would require a further discussion, maybe not immediately, but once we know that what is going to come as a fallout. So maybe after a month or so, when we have some results out, we'll discuss that economic impact of the Narendra Modi's visit. Thank you. Thanks the technical team led by Ashish Shetty, Swaminathan, the ace researcher that we have, Tejas Navalgul, Gadgi Rakesh, Ishwar Iyer, Ajesh Nair and Gurdas Shetty. Thank you all for supporting this program week after week. We are now into 258th week. Thanks the technical team. We'll be meeting again next Sunday, 8 p.m. Indian Standard Time, with a new topic and Dr. Subramanian Swamy. Thank you very much. Till then, we meet. Namaskar. Jai Hind. Jai Shri Ram.
Jai
Jai
Shri
Hind.
Ram, Jai Hind.